Hello, I'm Larry, and this is Carter's Country. Real happy to be joined today by Miles Enzor, technical and training rep for Sig Sauer. It's always a pleasure to have you and your incredible knowledge base of Sig Sauer products out with us. Today, you brought out some guns, and if I'm not mistaken, these are all have all been introduced in 2022. Is that correct?
These are all new product intros for 2022, and they're all shipping. These are all current models available.
Okay.
If you can find them, they're sell out pretty hot in most stores. So
yeah,
we
what
apologize.
A great problem to have, right?
Yeah, I know for a fact. I was up at the factory just a couple weeks ago. They are increasing production on all these models because these are probably, if you had to say right now, these are the 4 hottest selling SIG models that are on the market right now, and not just because they're new product, just because of the uniqueness of each of these platforms, whether caliber or design. It's really grabbed people's attention out there. So.
Yeah, it's important, and you guys definitely seem to have figured out. It's not only important to have a new product out, it's important that it be the right product out.
Yes, sir.
And I think y'all are 4 for 4 on these guys. So
hey, go to carscountry.com, sign up to win a free gun. It's a Christensen Ranger 22. We shot it here at the range a couple of times, done a review on it. It loves all the ammo that you can put through it. It's a wonderful gun to shoot. Great. Again, go to carscountry.com and sign up for free, and hope to see you on the range soon. Merry Christmas.
As always, whenever you're a guest, I much prefer hearing you talk about it than me. So I'm going to turn this over to you, kind of just take us through and show us what you brought.
Not a problem. So the first one we'll go over real quick is, which we just did a video. That's why you and I look like we're wearing the same outfit today.
Yeah. We
did a video on that. So there'll be a unique video release probably at or before this video that talks about the macro. So it's a 365X series with an XL slide length, but it's got a 17 round grip. Full Picatinny rail, and the slide, even though it's an XL length slide, it has a 2-port comp on the front, so it runs the standard length 365 barrel, but with the port in the front of it. So, but for further detail information on that, just watch the video we just did. But let's move on to the more important ones that we haven't talked about yet. The first one being the 320 Spectre comp. So for y'all at home there that are watching, all the mags have been cleared, and as you notice, we have the slides off to the rear to show empty. So as we're filming here, we're going to try not to flag each other, but just to ensure that the public that these weapons are cleared for this video. So on the Spectre comp, you can see that we're running a TXG grip, a tungsten infused X grip on this that has this special laser engraving on it. We call it the LX grip, the laser engraved grip. And then as you notice here, we have the tricked out slide, but with the comp on the front there that's mounted with a titanium nitrided gold barrel and the skeletonized trigger. So as most of you will recognize this being very similar to the standard X5 competition pistol, but with a black slide and the compensator on the front. So
it's like, you know, being as old as I am, I see things like this and it's just like something from Star Wars or something. Everything you just said made sense to me, but at the same time, to think that much technology and engineering is built into a gun. It's just amazing.
Yep. Now this is a standard barrel. It's not a bull barrel like the X5 is, because we had to install the comp on there. Once again, on the new series of slides, we're moving the optic plate in front of the rear sight, and the screws are going to be mounted on the top now for easy access for mounting and changing out and stuff like that.
Great.
So,
and that is a great looking pistol.
Yep, and you notice here that we have the flared mag well. If you don't need the flared mag well in here, once again, there's a set screw in the back that'll allow you to remove it. So you can change this up. And the other thing is, if you buy this pistol and you decide that you don't want the weight of the TXG grip, we do the AXG grip, which is the aluminum grip module, the X series grip module, or you could do a standard grip module on it. The only thing you just need to look out for is whether or not you want the comps hanging out over the edge or not,
right.
You know, where you want that Picatinny rail to go at. But this grip module, once again, it can be replaced with other ones. So it gives you an opportunity to plug and play and run one based on the scenario. If you want to carry this, actually, you could change it to a lighter grip module.
That's a lot packed into one pistol.
Yes, sir. So do you have any questions about the?
Well, I don't, but I think one thing that the audience may have a question about, you referenced the comp or compensator on it. For those that aren't familiar with that, kind of talk through what that is all about.
Well, basically a compensator just directs the gases out of the muzzle in an upward direction, which keeps the muzzle flipped down. so that you can stay on target a lot better. So instead of getting a lot of excessive muzzle flip, especially for a consumer that may have a hard time with recoil management, this reduces that recoil, so it makes the weapon platform a lot easier to manage and keeping your sights on target as you're coming back for follow-up shots. So
I really like that it's built in because I've seen the external compensators that you attach and everything, and to me, if you're looking to conceal the thing or anything like that, it just seems like that's just adding a little more bulk, something else that may print when you wear it. So I really like that it's built in. I think that's a good angle to take with it. We talked about it already on the macro, where I think it's really critical that it's built in because that is specifically a carry gun. But I think it's just a better pistol if it's built in on any of them.
Yeah. One unique thing on this is it basically, the slide length comes out to be the same as the X5, which, as you know, is a full 5-inch slide barrel system. So holsters now, depending on the holster, there might be some actual fit and finish depending on how accurately the holster is molded. I believe on like Safariland that runs the X5 platform, this fits in the exact same category as an X5 with Safariland, but specific to each holster brand, there might be like a molded Kydex, you might have to go with a specific one that's molded for this. And I'm sure all the companies, as this being the hottest platforms out there selling, all the holster companies will catch up and will probably already be providing holster platforms for these.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of going with a brand like Sig Sauer is aftermarket is never a problem. They can't get there fast enough, it seems. You guys roll something out and the next day they've got something for it. So.
It's very true. Well, let's move on to the next one. Another one that's just come out of the gate and has just really made a lot of people happy because as we know, 10 millimeter is basically on an uptick or a rise in sales. So what we have here is the 320 X10. So it's an X series grip with a full-size slide and a full 5-inch bull barrel on this one. So this one's also unique in the fact that it has a specialty barrel in it. So for a polymer framed 10 millimeter, this thing is incredibly enjoyable to shoot. So
this feels like a gun. Couple things I love about that. One, of course, the gun itself. It's shot like you would expect a Sig to shoot. We were running the 180 grain V-Crown Sig ammo through it. Shot great. There's nothing about it that I thought, man, I wish this was different.
You love it? Larry loves 10 millimeters. That's his favorite.
Yeah, 10 millimeter guy.
Well, heavier guns always feel better to me.
So,
what's the magazine capacity on that?
This is 15 rounds.
15. Yep,
so this is a 15 round mag. So.
I don't know if there's ever been more power you could pack into one pistol than 15 rounds of 10 millimeter in that.
Yep. No, and it's truly phenomenal. Once again, as we talked about, the optic plate's been moved forward on this to allow the rear sight to stay there. One thing that you'll see on this that is unique that you probably wouldn't know to ask me this, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up because we know somebody out there watching this video will be curious. Can I change this over on a 45 or one of the 9mm platforms in the fire control unit? And unfortunately you can't due to the fact that 10mm and its size requirements, they altered I believe where the slide release is and some of the internals where the sear package is. It was slightly tweaked for this platform, so it is not interchangeable or crossover with the other fire control units and slides. So this is a standalone product. Obviously 10mm being as popular, if we ever do any other grips, if we do maybe a different size platform in this, those platforms in the 10mm family will be interchangeable with each other. So
yeah, I think everybody's kind of just starting to test the water and just now catching the wave on the 10mm. So we'll have a lot to learn about it in the coming months and year or two to see where it takes everybody. I know, being here in Texas, hogs are such a prolific problem. And the 10mm is getting a lot of love from people.
Oh yeah,
as a hog gun.
Well, it's a great platform to shoot. So I was gonna prop this. We're gonna clear these out, and I'm gonna have you visually inspect these because we're gonna go ahead and point these at the. It's clear.
Yep, you're good.
And then we're gonna go ahead and have you clear that one. Yep. We're gonna show the public at home kind of the profile, the barrel difference that you can see right there. I hope that's. I'm pointing at the camera accurately, but you can see the profile difference on the barrel. So just one unique thing about that. So, but we just wanted the public to understand that this is a standalone platform.
Yeah, and that is important because, you know, if that's something somebody didn't think to ask ahead of time, they may be a little bit disappointed. But the reasons you gave on why it couldn't be, it's obvious that there wasn't any other choice. And to me, though, and this is just my thought process, if it was mine, if I've got a 10 millimeter, that's kind of going to be a standalone gun anyway, you know, so.
Yeah, because the magazine size obviously is different. The grip, for being a 15 round capacity 10 millimeter, the grip size still stays I have very small hands, and I have no problem gripping it. And when I've shot it the last time, it's extremely accurate. Yeah. So, which helped with the barrel design on that, being a bull barrel, it really adds to it, and gives it, I believe, the effectiveness it needs to be in that 10 millimeter platforms.
One other thing I just want to comment on, because I would absolutely think of that as, if I'm going to go after a hog with a pistol, this is it. And I love the length of the Picatinny up there, because you're going to want some kind of light, you know,
yes,
they're hunting hogs at night. So it's really perfectly set up to put you an optic on it, put you a green light underneath it, and man, I be ready to go.
Yeah, no, it's great. So I've already got my chest rig set up for it and everything. So, and we do a lot of night vision, so I've got the M400 Vampire to run on it. So if I need to, we're still trying to get out and do some nod, night vision shooting with it. So we'll see how that works out one of these days.
Now this last one, all I can think about is how fun this looks. So
it is fun. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. The least but not last, or last but not least, one of those two. I don't know which one it is. So we have what we call the P322. So some unique things about this is slightly different from all other SIG platforms that we have. In a couple of unique factors is, one, it's a fixed barrel 320, which is not unusual to a 22 platform. The other thing is, if we were to remove this slide, there's an internal hammer, because this is actually a single action only. Now, if you look, it looks very similar to the 365 macro, but in reality, this is a standalone platform because it has the internal hammer hidden under the slide. We did go ahead and put ambi controls on here, so the slide lock and the safety, as you can see right here, is ambi. Another unique feature on this one that really has people excited is that this is a 20 round magazine, and we also have an optional 25 round magazine, which makes a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
Because when you're plinking with 22, you usually burn through a lot of ammo, and reloading 10 or 15 round mags takes up a lot of your time, whereas with a 20 or 25 rounder, you're going to spend less time loading and a lot more time plinking. So,
right.
As you can see on here, we have a standard Picatinny rail. So I have a Foxtrot 1X on here from SIG. And then the other thing is we go ahead and demo this because it's more fun to demo it with a suppressor on here. So we have the SRD 22X on here from SIG. As you'll notice is on this platform, when it comes from the factory, it has an internal sleeve, so it's a flush barrel with a sleeve on there. You take the sleeve off, add the adapter, which comes in the box, and then I can add my 22 can on there.
Okay, so you don't have to have a threaded barrel sticking out at all times if you're not adding a suppressor. So it's
there's no if you don't want the suppressor on there, this adapter right here, as you can see, will actually thread off, and then there's a little cap that threads on. So when it is in a non-suppressed platform and the slides forward, it looks like a normal flush fit barrel. So
very innovative. I like that. It's sometimes you kind of get locked into something because I don't have any suppressors, haven't gone through the paperwork and all that to get one. Sometimes you'll see a pistol and it's got that external threaded barrel, and it's just a matter of taste, I know, but I just don't like it if I know I'm not putting anything
and some
on
holsters aren't set up.
That's
for
another great point. Yeah, you're looking at a different holster and everything else. So it's great that it's modular, that you have that option with it, because let's face it, most people when they buy a 22, fun is the main thing they're going for.
Exactly.
And this way with this, you can kind of just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, we call this the varmint setup. So any kind of annoying pests that are running around the house, this makes it more fun. So
yeah.
A couple unique features also that we want to make sure that the public that's watching this video is, this one's actually set up with the new Romeo Zero Elite, which has a glass aspheric lens on it, and then also has the touch control where you program it that you just can tap it
and it'll change. Also, you notice that the sights coming on here are fiber optic sights.
Right.
So,
See that up at the front.
And
that's
some customers out there watching might catch this, but if they notice this has a curved trigger shoe, and if you look at the ones selling in the store, they have a flat trigger shoe. That's because in the box, it comes with both trigger shoes in there, a flat trigger and a curved trigger shoe.
You guys really went all out to give people options with this thing.
Yep.
That's
22 reasons. So,
there you go.
So.
I know our camera operator is salivating in particular over that one, but all SIG products in general. That's why you might see a suspicious number of SIG videos. It's not only because they're great products and they've been a great partner with Carter's Country all these years, but the person that sets up these videos and all is a little bit of a SIG groupie. So, you know, but you can never see too many different SIG models or get too much information about them. So we're still fine with it. It's just one of the many quirks that she has that we tolerate. So,
do you mind if I go into training mode for 1 minute?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to go into training mode. For the public out there that buys one of these, this gun in particular, some of the guys I've worked with, we have several thousand rounds through ours already, and we can tell you right now, there are no malfunction issues with this, except for, like most 22s, when you're loading the magazine, if you pull the follower down and just dump loose rounds in there, they will not properly align the rounds to feed in the platform. So with like a lot of 22 magazines, as you're loading, and it comes with a follower in the box, and I didn't even mention that, we include a loading assist device that's in there. As you push, if you push one round at a time, just like you were loading a 9mm or a 10mm, if you load one round at a time, it properly aligns the ammo in the magazine for that high capacity setup, and then you will have no feeding issues. But if you pull that follower down and just dump loose rounds in there, you will see cycling issues with it, because the rounds, being a rimmed cartridge, will not align in there properly, and you'll get feeding issues. So
that is a great point, and you probably save somebody a big headache or an email to SIG by pointing out, don't drop them in there, press them in. Yeah, that's the kind of information that people watch videos like this for.
Before we get going, the other unique thing on this is, sat in a room with the production engineers and stuff like that, and we went over some of the engineering aspects that went into this platform. And one of the big things was SIG basically went out and purchased all the ammo that is commonly used in the public, generally speaking, from all the brands, the different grain weights, supers and subsonic, high velocity or hypervelocity ammo. And they went through an entire test package with all the different rounds, and basically didn't stop with the development until they had no malfunction issues with a general production gun with all that different brands of ammo. And so far, my buddies and I that work for SIG, we went and gone out and taken all the different brands of ammo we have and gone out and did our own little test. And so far, we've seen no issues with any of the ammo that we've run through it. So
if you've never owned a semi-automatic 22 pistol, you don't appreciate what a huge favor that SIG did by going through that, because 22 semi-autos can be finicky. We always just kind of assumed it was the nature of the beast, and everybody just learned to live with it. But again, it's a perfect example of your company going out, being proactive, doing the work up front so the customer doesn't have to do it on the back end. And it's really great that you're able to do that, because again, if you've ever owned a 22 semi-automatic, it was a headache you just assumed you were going to have to live with, but not anymore.
Yeah. Number one comment, is it going to be as non-reliable as the Mosquito that we used to import years ago?
Right.
And one of the reasons we went to as much trouble was we didn't want anybody to ever complain again, like some people saw with the Mosquito. People either loved it or hated it, and a lot of it had to do with what ammo was preferred in it and what ammo wasn't. You know, it was basically very finicky on cartridges and stuff like that. So the big development factor on this platform was make it very user-friendly, especially with ammo types.
And a lesson we learned, not only with 22s, but all calibers in the past couple of years, sometimes you may not have your pick of ammo when you go into a store.
Exactly.
And it's in this day and age, more so than any ever, it's great to know that you can take your 22 pistol out and not have to shop for very specific ammo, brands, weights, anything else, that you can just get some 22 ammo and go have fun.
That's very true.
That's huge. Well, Miles, thanks again for your time.
Anytime.
It's always great when you come out, and you always have some really, really cool stuff to show us. Sincerely appreciate that. Remember, if you've ever shopped, shot, or hunted with us, you're already a part of the Carter's Country family. Until next time, adios.